Okay. Sidley.
Greetings.
The young woman wears a simple but well-tailored uniform. She watches the comings and goings around her with quiet attention. Any news to share, or are you just here to see the ducal palace? Who are you? I'm a page here at the palace. I deliver messages and run errands for the duke and his advisors. The pay's not great, but I can't think of a better introduction. To politics. Looking for news. What goes on in here? She laughs. Where to start? We've got meetings, public hearings, and ceremonies, and that's just the stuff that happens out in the open. She leans a little closer. This is where the Duke and his key advisors work. So there's always someone bartering for a favor. Unfortunately, I'm not at liberty to talk about that side of things. But if you want the official version, she clears her throat and gestures counterclockwise around the palace. We have a shrine devoted to Magrin, official records, and chambers for public hearings and council meetings. Tell me about the Shrine of Magrin. It's a symbol of Magrin's protection of the fine space. She's represented the revolutionary spirit of the Drywood ever since independence, and her involvement in creating the Godhammer bomb only affirmed her importance to us. She scratches her neck. That's also where the first of the sacred fires burn, but Frigga, the tranquil ardent, has some trouble keeping them lit. What kind of records are stored here? Mostly dull official stuff. Census counts, tax records, militia registry. Now I keep my distance. I got curious one day and got drafted into reshelving half of the records. She yawns. Worst day of my life. Is there a hearing going on right now? Sure is. Duke Avar's been meeting with some of the city leaders for weeks now, trying to figure out how to address the legacy. The whole business is a terrible secret, though. I tried to sit in the gallery during my lunch break one day and got turned away. She sniffs. But a lot of the talk concerns animancy, so there's good reason they're keeping the meetings behind closed doors. Why is it so controversial? She laughs. Where to begin? Traditionalists think it's a crime against the gods. There's no question that poking around in souls is risky, but the more progressive elements believe it's our only shot at restoring healthy births. And it doesn't help matters that animancy research often involves old Ewithan relics that were illegally looted from ruins in Airgunfath. She makes a quick twitching motion with her index and middle fingers. So what do you think about animancy? Me? I think the real danger of animancy is confusing a real scholar and an expensive fake. We get a new case here every day. Some poor couple with a gift or copper land who spent every copper they had on a miracle cure for their unborn child. It never works. She shakes her head. Breaks your heart, but there's usually nothing we can do for them. The legacy? Wait, when's the legacy? Why do we keep having all these what are the Hollowborn questions? That's what a lot of people call the rash of Hollowborn. The theory goes that it's a punishment for meddling in animancy. What's Hollowborn? She raises an eyebrow. You realize fresh from the road. Hollowborn are children born without souls. They often don't live for very long, and those that do generally receive some kind of treatment from the animancers. I see. Anyway, the legacy is what the politicians have all been whispering about lately. Let's talk about something else. What is the Ducal Palace? It's the seat of government here in the fine Spade. This is where Duke Adamant Hadred declared freedom from the Darren rules some 150 years ago. She lowers her voice and grins. It's also a hotbed of regional politics. Trust me, the gossip here beats what you'll find in any tavern or brothel in the city. Tell me about the current Duke. That will be Avar Wolfgren. Don't let the title fool you though. Our dukes have been elected since independence. Some find Duke Avar rather coarse. He's a frontier noble. Personally, I think a rough and tumble type is just what the fine spade needs. All right, goodbye. Save again. Oh, nope. The judiciary. Only people born with if only people with official invitations are allowed to observe the animacy hearing. Save. Where's this woman? The person that invited us. Is this the migrant thing? Save. Most bright migrant transform with their flame. A stone figure of a warrior gazes towards her raised hand. It's empty, but the palm and fingers are blackened.
If it makes you rest easier.
Why did you only do this?
Hello.
The woman's head is bowed as her lips move in prayer. Just as you approach, you catch her glimpsing at the statue near her. She notices you and forces a smile. Praise be to migrant and welcome to her temple. How may I be of service? Temple? I thought this was a palace. It's both, really. It's the palace from which Duke of Var governs, but it's also a place of honor and worship for Magran, the goddess who led us to independence and who has always watched over our city. Her smile falters. You seem upset. What's wrong? Her shoulders slump. This is about the fires, isn't it? She puts a hand on your shoulders. There's your symbols. You can't put your faith in them. The fires? She sighs. The sacred pyres all around town. You must have seen the statues of the goddess around the city, building up empty braziers. I've kept them burning steadily for 15 years, but I haven't been able to conjure those for months now, and people need to see them more than ever these days. What does that mean? It's my devotion and prayers that keep them lit, but lately, when I try to pray, all I can think about are the hollowborn all over the city. The grieving family, the refugees. She shakes her head. How could Madron allow us to suffer like this? What strength do we gain from a soulless child? Durant grunts with disdain. What strength do we gain from adversity, from trial and test? The fires don't wither because she lacks in faith. They wither because she does not understand how to be faithful to a whore. Wow. He does not like this goddess. A whore wants neither praise nor devotion. A whore wants to be compensated for her service. And Margaret is paid and pleasured in sweat and struggle and pain. This moaning imbecile is unworthy of Margaret's womanly heat. And this is shaking your faith. She nods, running her hands through her hair. But I believe Margaret may be speaking to me again. She frowns and casts a quick glance in your direction. Lately, I've been seeing visions, a place in the wilderness with pools filled with sunbursts of color, strange falls that seem to rise to the heavens, even when they splash into the earth. She raises her hands as if praying an image of her vision, and behind the falls is a cave filled with fire and heat and danger, and some tokens of my goddess. I know there's something there, but where it is or how I get there, she shakes her head. I've been meaning to ask around at the expedition hall to see if anyone recognizes the description. To be honest though, I don't know what I'd even do if I found the place. Worthless, like so many of Margaret's flock, afraid of her god's test. If Margaret speaks to her, it is to fasten an end to a hypocrite's life, and this vision is surely a death trap for the weak. What's the significance of the sacred pyres? They symbolize Margaret's power and guidance. And right now, the people of the Flying Spade needs to be assured of her presence. She crosses her arms, staring at the statue. Our neighbors in the Valiant Republic see us as superstitious, but we're just sensitive to the signs and warnings of the gods. Something else, I'd like to know more about the temple. Margaret is the most revered goddess among us Drywoodens, so it's no surprise that her temple is part of the ducal palace. Her fires symbolize trials, revolutions, and the blazing of new paths, all of which are important to us. She gestures to the statue. This is the first of the sacred pyres. When this is lit, so are the rest around the city. Goodbye. Ask somebody in the expedition hall for if we know where. Sure. Travel to the cave. What? Oh, so we may be trying to find the item. Okay. Save it.
Good day, stranger.
We still having the visions of the falls. Yes, in the cave and something within. some small, bright ember of faith guided by a terrible danger. I only wish I could go myself. She turns and guiltily gazes at the statue. Anything else? Temple. Tires. Okay, so I lost that perception thing. Um, Option is fine. What's in here? Nope. All right, save it. Nope. 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 Bookkeeper, Marshall, Warren. Let's talk to the Warren. Thank you for coming, Sahar. I've been trying to track you down for some time. This is Marshall Farwin, Earl Bademar's military advisor. He will serve as a witness for this proceeding. He gestures at the man next to him. Well met, Road Warden. Your reputation precedes you. I admit you've created a bit of stir throughout the nobility with your reclamation of Kainua. Most are still not sure what to think of you. What's this about? The legitimacy of your claim to God Noah is in question. Earl Bademore has issued a ruling on the matter. It was abandoned for over a century, and I've claimed the land through strength of arms. The claim is legitimate. If there were no other claimant, you would be correct. Unfortunately, this is not the case. All will be made clear once Lord Gathbin arrives. Do you have any questions for me while we wait? So he can just all of a sudden just show up? Um, what about this road warden? The one who rules Noah on behalf of the Earl of Yenwood is traditionally known as the road warden. Your position might not be entirely official yet, but the title is an appropriate form of undress. The marshal nods and smiles. In fact, the blade you carry was forged by the very first road warden. He gestures at the sword at your side. I've heard that the whispers of Yenwood. Do we have that on us? I know it's in our bag. It's only ever found by those meant to rule Kainua. I think a deer has that on. Um, Tell me about the Earl. Earl Bademar comes from a esteemed line of lords that rose to prominence after the War of Defiance some 150 years ago. The Drywood consists of 7 earldoms. The Bademars govern the northern earldom known as the Grasp. As in the current Bademar, he is as fine a man as I know. It is an honor to serve him. Tell me about the Grasp. The Grasp is now the largest of the 7 earldoms after it consumed the pre-war earldom of Yenwood. It encompasses notable settlements such as New Helmore, Garen's Grasp, Gilded Vale, and of course Kainua, Yenwood. When the Drywood was a mere colony of Adir, it was divided into 9 earldoms. When the Adirians were defeated and ultimately driven out, 2 of the earldoms were absorbed and borders were adjusted. The Yenwood was one such earldom. Okay. So what do you know of Gathbin? While I only met him once, it was an ample time to determine the character of Lord Ardur Gathbin, or lack thereof. He is a descendant from an old Adarian line that predates the War of Defiance. His great-grandfather, Randon Gathbin, was the Earl of Yenwood during the war. That is, until he was stripped of his lands and driven out from the Drywood. Do you know which way Earl Bademar has ruled? I'm sorry, my lord, I do not. The Earl's decree is sealed. All right. Your timing is impeccable. Here comes Lord Gathbin now. Let's see. I like the green. This is gonna suck. An opulent and opulently dressed man strides towards the chancellor, his sandy hair trailing him like a banner caught in the light breeze, boot heels echoing throughout the hall. An elven woman with cropped hair dressed in dark linen mail shadows his step before taking a position alongside him. She watches you unabashedly, taking your measure. Let's move past this formality as quickly as possible. I've other matters to attend to. It's well known that Kainua belongs to me by right. Oh, I don't like this guy at all. Gathman. And where is this pretender, she who murdered the Friedrichs, my own sister and husband, and steals my land? Where is this low-born wretch? Wait, what? Warren clears his throat and glances at you. This woman here, this is the lady of Kainua. I thought she was just another servant, perhaps a valet or a scullery maid. Can we get on with this, please? Warren breaks the seal on the scroll and unfurls it. Regarding the matter of the Gathman claim on Kainua, Earl Bademore finds that Gathman's claim was never relinquished by law. Kainua is the rightful property of the Gathman family? I knew it. He smirks at you triumphantly. I'm not yet finished reading, my lord. He rolls his eyes and motions for the chancellor to continue. However, the Earl recognizes the hardest part in reclaiming Kainua, a site that has stood abandoned and even some would say cursed for over a century. Before Kainua is returned to the Gothman family, the Earl has decreed that Lord Gothman will provide compensation in the form of... Absolutely not. Gathman folds his arms, a defiant scowl on his face. My lord, Warren raises his eyebrows. The amount is quite reasonable, and requirements for your land to be returned to you if you would just allow me to finish. I'll not pay a single copper to the miscreant for my ancestral home. Do you think I'm blind to the Earl's motives, lackey? He thinks he can send a message with this insult. I have a message you can send him. I have a message you can send that son of a whore. Gathman raises an open hand as the chancellor shrinks back from him, arms raised in defense. We're gonna grab his hand. Keep your hands off me, you peasant! He yanks his arm free of your hand and steps back. The elven woman deftly draws a pistol from her thick leather belt, her eyes widen in anticipation. My lord, my lady, please, there's no need for further violence. Lord Gathman holds your gaze for several heartbeats, his eyes burning with hatred. I'll be coming for what's mine. Count on it. Come, Captain Emery, we're leaving. Did we learn about Emery? He sneers defiantly before storming down the hall. The captain lowers her pistol and gives a smirking shrug before following her employer. Hmm. Did we hear about Emery? I have no idea. The name does sound familiar though, but I can't say that Gathman's reaction was entirely unexpected. Though no fault of your own, I'm afraid you've made a powerful enemy. I've dealt with much worse. I hope you're right. Warren smiles thinly. In any case, Kainua now officially belongs to you since Lord Gathban has rejected the Earl's decree. He hands you a deep blue scepter which looks to have been carved entirely out of sapphire. Here, this belongs to one of the old lords of Kainua. By right, is yours now. I'm not giving him money. Talking of friendship, he can go somewhere. If I catch him with his people, my land, they'll be executed. Invitation to feast with me within the halls of Kainua. There's no need for us to be enemies. I don't like the guy. All right, I'm done here. He does think, but I don't like the I'll give you money because you think I'm broke thing. Uh, I don't think we would may have execution is a lot. All right, I'm done here. It was a pleasure to finally meet you, my lady. Warren bows. Perhaps we'll speak again under more pleasant circumstances. Farewell, farewell, Sahar. The marshal nods at you and leaves. I guess that's it. Yep. So do we have to complete a quest or something? That's what it looks like. Or maybe it's a I don't know. Alright, let's save. Um alright, the keeper.
Well met, friend.
Attack the a taciturn man with graying hair pours over a tome he's just withdrawn from one of the shelves. He glances up at you with baggy eyes. Yes, is there something I can pull for you? I'm looking for militia records from the time of the Saints' War, trying to find out what happened to someone. The man clears his throat. We've had a number of inquiries about such information. I'm afraid we have to bar access to the public, since there are still quite a number of folks in Drywood who bear ill will towards Reed-Sarans. It would be irresponsible to surrender their names to just anyone. Many come to settle here as refugees. That's actually really smart. I understand. Perhaps if you were more established in Defiance Bay, things could be different, but I have no reason to suspect you to be any different from the others. We've come a long way. I just need to find out about my brother. I don't even know what side he fought for. You must understand. Oh, it's probably bone, like hemming them up or something. I have heard many such stories. I'm afraid there is nothing I can do for you. Okay. So we need to up our reputation. But what is our reputation? Defiance freaking neutral. I need to do more stuff. This is funny. Terror. Overwhelmingly bad. Oh, we're in a month in. Interesting. Okay. Oh wait, we have where's the freaking scepter? I'm not using it, but oh maybe we do though. Soulbound. What in the world is soulbound? Once bound can only be used by that character. Certain classes. Counter abilities. Oh, a wizard, a priest, and a druid. Obviously. Because you have a lot of stuff that's about to come your way, my guy. Let's compare. Most important looking magical, that's not what I'm looking for. Fast, same. Range, same. That's the same. This is the same. Accuracy. Raw damage goes up. Okay, let's swap it. And then bind. Are you sure you want to bind with a lock? Save it. Oh, let's hard save it actually. Before initiation. Oh, when did we get to Act 2? Binding. Binding. Chapter. Binding. Weapon with Log. Oh wait, you know what? That's not right. Okay, I don't think I've been doing that right. Finding temple. Wait, weapon with log. Okay, there. I have not been doing that correctly. Save it. Are they still in their meeting? Okay, save it.
You've been on your own for 5 years,
I've had Itamok.
but you can't talk to him.
My standards changed around year 2.
Wow, funny. All right, let's go here and then address gift because we do have a quest there, and I need to start. We need to build reputation apparently. It would be really cool is like at a certain certain if some of the golden um I'm going to just call them the golden people. If some of the golden people attacked us, if we got a certain reputation around where they were. So like if I was around Dunamir and they were like acting, is it Dunamir? Whatever they're thumbnail, and one of the golden tag people were like acting guard and we had terror, they were like attack. That would have been cool. Let's go in. I don't think I have anything to do in here though. Gavin Reg. Oh wait, what was the I did not bind this crap. Okay. First, mention the name Reg. We know this was the leader of the Gafathans. Mention the name Reg and Eric Lafat, and you'll be told stories of a glorious freedom fighter, an Orlan who uses tactical savvy and building and battle training to protect the Glafathan from the encroaching evil of the invaders in the Drywood. Ask someone in the Drywood about him, and you'll hear. Ask someone in the Drywood about him, and you'll hear angry retelling of the exploits of an underhanded, dirty fighting Arlen who terrorized Drywoodan citizens. This conflict is what legends are built on, and Galvin Resch is the source of legends. The Broken Stone War began from a misunderstanding between the Glafathans who live in the Drywood and the Adaran colonists who were moving in. Tensions were already high between the two groups as the Adarans claimed land and the Glafathans said they already owned. Add to it the Gafathans taken and forced into slavery by the Adarans, and it was only a matter of time before something snapped and sent the two groups to war. There was the occasional skirmish or fight between isolated groups, but no real conflict between the Broken Stone War. Whether intentional or not, Adaran farmers clearing land for their crops knocked over and destroyed one of the ancient menhirs that dot the countryside. The Glafathans who revered the ancient structures in the Drywood reacted swiftly and violently, led by a particularly fascinated Fang by the name of Reg. While the war was short-lived and the Gafathans were ultimately not the victors, Reg and his forces were able to eliminate a significant number of colonists. After the war ended, Reg was appointed the Galvin, or leader of the Gafathan tribes. His leadership skills and prowess in battle earned him the respect of all the tribes of Eric Lafat. Because all the tribes were unified behind him, he was able to move and coordinate their warriors in a way that organized them into such an efficient team. The Adaran colonists lived in fear of his next attack. His name and reputation spread through both lands. Over 2 years following the Broken Stone War, Reg and his forces used deception, misinformation, and straightforward guerrilla tactics killed hundreds. The remaining earls sent word to the Falcongen, I'm never going to be able to pronounce that, saying something must be done before more nobility is killed. But Reg continues to terrorize the colonists, and it seems the campaign will never end. That is, until he encountered Indrand Hudrets. And we read that story for sure. What I do want to do is start putting certain weapons. Oh, all right, let's do this. Binding, bind, yes. Deal raw damage to enemies with this item unlocks the next level 0 of 200. Okay. Okay. Interesting. You do have it. Okay. Save it. Viscount Agasti.
Good day to you.
What can this humble servant of the Republic do for you? Tell me about the Valiant Republic. They're all rich in all ways, in wealth, in style, in culture. If you were to go to the Republic, you would not want to leave. Why would you? The people are beautiful and charming. I am here because the Sangrada Lucala wishes it. But when my appointment is done, I will be on the first ship out, and I will sail from here to Salona. If there's nothing else, I must return to my duties. What do you do here? As the ambassador, my job is to ensure trade with the dry wood remains strong and profitable. Okay. Not much. Well, technically it's a important position. A soldier, you have business with the Republic? Those postings show current prices for a range of commodities, and they track the running exchange rate for the Valiant Lust. Okay. Diplomat. Local policies only matter if they disrupt the flow of trade. Fair. Spread across the table are the blueprints of an in-progress trade deal between a merchant company from the Republic and the Dry Wooden Wool Collection.
A simple test.
Oh, I don't think you're going to be able to do this. Yep. The flag depicts the symbol of the Valiant Republic, a ship sailing beneath 5 radiant stars. Five, need 8. Correspondence of Giftbringer Eden? Select the correspondences of Giftbringer Iden. Sing, O ocean wave, O Andra's sorrow, of her unrequited love for the unattainable moon. Sing of the ocean's sorrow so that we may forget our own. Each day the tides reenact Andra's longing for the great moon. The water reaches out at high tide, yearning for the heavenly body, only to slump into low tide when the moon proves unattainable. You asked me once why I loved Andra so dearly, how I would go from a life on a dry land to being a devotee to the goddess of the ocean. I sing of the ocean's sorrow so that I may forget my own. It is Andra's message that speaks to my heart. I have devoted my life to helping others discard painful memories, for that is the gift Andra gave me. When I lost my young daughter, my wife and I were inconsolable until a gift bearer offered to take my toddler's toys and cast them into the deepest wave. Truth be told, I and the other gift bearers I know have never even spoken to Andra. She is largely silent, and when she does speak, she uses floods and tidal waves instead of words. but we sing of the ocean's sorrow so that others may forget theirs. Andra's story, the story of desire unanswered, actually matters to people like you and me. Margaret cannot steer you to victory over sadness. Halia cannot force joy down a crying throat. Only Andra can give you the strength to persevere when life seems without worth. And that is the answer to your question regarding why I love my goddess so dearly. Huh. Save that. I know. Okay.
That's settled.
Interesting. You're able to do that. All right, let's leave.
So, Alaf, have you ever woken up to find your other half used your body during the night?
I don't
Wow.
think I understand you. And I'm not sure I want to.
Well, I've
Wow.
found that if I go to sleep hungry enough, I wake up covered in blood and delightfully full.
All right. Andra's gift. That's just about everything outside of Heritage Hall. Oh, it's gonna take an extra hour to go from, well, maybe not. Oh, this place is foggy. Keep your guard up and your weapon ready while you're in the gift. Oh, crap.
Nice and quiet.
Refugees. There are so few honest people left in Defiance Bay. I didn't want to come here, but my village wasn't safe anymore. The grimy windows have been peppered over from the inside. Save it. Oh, crap. Addicts. A dozen tiny something squirm within a pot of rice. What's in here? Of course it is. Oh, freaking course. What are you doing here? This is our place. I can't really use a pinch. Man wears a worried expression, trembling from head to toe, continuing licking his gums. Huh. That's depressing.
I'll take a peek.
Oh, cool. Coffee. Let's see. The knob on the other side suggests that the table was fashioned from a derelict door. The slightest pressure causes it to wobble atop the barrel. It's not still. Let's save. I feel like this actually is.
Nice and quiet.
Colfax? Youngish, a youngish elven man squints at you in surprise. You can't just barge into someone's home like this. What do you think? Who do you think you are? Who are you? The elf who lives here. Now get out. What now? He looks at you nervously. Let's leave. I feel bad, so I don't want to steal his stuff. You know, technically it wasn't stealing. Really not. But let's still talk. Who are you? Get out, leave. Save.